Russian paratroopers arrive in Kazakhstan as unrest continues. Russian paratroopers have arrived in Kazakhstan as part of a peacekeeping mission by a Moscow-led military alliance to help the president regain control of the country, according to Russian news agencies. Kazakhstan's president, Kassym-Jomart Tokayev, asked for the intervention from the Collective Security Treaty Organization, CSTO, an alliance made up of Russia, Armenia, Belarus, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan, late on Wednesday, and it was swiftly approved. It comes as violent clashes continue between protesters and the police and army in Kazakhstan. There is little reliable information on the number of casualties, but local news agencies quoted a spokesperson for police in Almaty, the country's largest city, saying dozens of people were killed during attacks on government buildings. Almaty city authorities said on Thursday that 353 police and security forces personnel had been injured, and 12 killed. On Thursday morning, shots were fired as troops entered Almaty's main square. Several armored personnel carriers and dozens of troops moving on foot arrived on Thursday morning, with shots heard as they approached the crowd, Reuters witnesses said. State television reported on Thursday that the National Bank of Kazakhstan had suspended all financial institutions. The internet in the country is mostly down as well as mobile phone reception. Advertisement. On Wednesday, there had been reports of violent clashes and shooting in Almaty and other cities, as well as unverified videos suggesting casualties among protesters. On Wednesday night, Tokayev asked the CSTO to help him regain control. Armenia's Prime Minister, Nikol Pashinyan, said the alliance would dispatch forces to stabilize the Central Asian country. It is not clear how many troops the CSTO will send or how long they will stay in the country. Russian MP Leonid Kalashnikov told Interfax the troops would stay for as long as the president of Kazakhstan believes it necessary. He said they would mainly be engaged in protecting for as long as the president of Kazakhstan believes it necessary in the country. Tokayev had appealed to the bloc for help, decrying the actions of terrorists and alleging the country had been the victim of attacks by foreign-trained gangs after fuel price rises triggered widespread protests. On Wednesday, demonstrators took over government buildings and reportedly stormed the airport in Almaty, the country's commercial capital. Almaty was attacked, destroyed, vandalized. The residents of Almaty became victims of attacks by terrorists, bandits. Therefore it is our duty to take all possible actions to protect our state, said Tokayev, in his second televised address in a matter of hours. The Kazakh events come at a time when all eyes have been on a possible Russian intervention in Ukraine. Images of police being overpowered by protesters are likely to cause alarm in Moscow, as another country neighboring Russia succumbs to political unrest. Kazakhstan is part of an economic union with Russia and the two countries share a long border. The protests began in the west of the country at the weekend, after a sharp rise in fuel prices, but have spread quickly and taken Kazakhstan's authorities and international observers by surprise. The protests have swelled amid broader discontent with Tokayev, president since 2019, and Nursultan Nazarbayev, the former leader. Nazarbayev and his family have monopolized all sectors, from banking to roads to gas. These protests are about corruption, said 55-year-old Suresh Shekhanova, who has been protesting in Zamnazan since Sunday. It all started with the increase in gas prices, but the real cause of the protests is poor living conditions of people, high prices, joblessness, corruption. Durakan Sharipov, an activist from the civil society movement Wake Up, Kazakhstan, said, "People are sick of corruption and nepotism, and the authorities don't listen to people. We want President Tokayev to carry out real political reforms, or to go away and hold fair elections." The 5 former Soviet Central Asian republics have been largely without protest in their 3 decades of independence, with the exception of Kyrgyzstan, which has had several revolutions. Kazakhstan has never held an election judged as free and fair by international observers. While it is clear there is widespread discontent, the cleansing of the political playing field over many years means there are no high-profile opposition figures around which a protest movement could unite, and the protests appear largely directionless.